Welcome to Virtual Comic-Con. Welcome to the Girls Drawing Girls panel. I'm so happy to have you here. We have a wonderful panel for you today. We are talking about just basically being artists and women artists working in this crazy world that we now live in, which is now our reality, which is 2020, which is filled with a pandemic, filled with just social injustice, filled with so many things. It's been a challenge just to, at least for me, and I'm sure other women on the panel, to have to figure out working from home and just existing in this new normal. It's been strange, and we have a variety of women here who want to just share in their experience, and we also just want to know that we're here for you too, our fans, and we just want to give you our perspective on this new year, which has been very strange. I have to say, one of the strangest realities I would have expected to experience in 2020. I thought 2020 was going to be all about making resolutions like lose weight, and that sure has not happened in 2020. Let me tell you that. But anyway, let me go ahead and introduce our panel. We have amazing people here today. We have Debbie Bruce Mahan. She is an assistant director on The Simpsons. We have Rihanna Contiran. She is a visual designer. Christine Chang. She's a freelance illustrator. Sherry DeLorme. She's a Disney TVA designer. And Ashlyn Harbert Phillips, who is compositing supervisor on Grain, Eggs, and Ham. So welcome, everyone.
Hi.
Everyone, hello.
Thanks for having me.
It's wonderful to have you all. So let's go ahead and get started. How are you all adjusting to this new normal in the world of COVID-19?
Well, for me personally, I'm trying to do the best that I can. And it's been really intense to have to fully function completely on my full-time job while trying to teach my kids during the day. I just basically have to split myself in two and just do all the things correctly. And I haven't been able to, and it's been tough, but I know a lot of working moms are in the same boat. It's just the pressure to do really well at both things simultaneously. Like along with the Pinterest mom culture that we've got going, where you have to make charts and graphs and cut your children's food up into little pictures. It's like, it's kind of unfair and masochistic.
Yeah, I would think so.
So I'm just trying to give myself some leeway and try to be more forgiving of myself, because this situation is not normal. Therefore, I should not expect myself to be this super woman, because it's a hard thing to do, and I got to be fair to myself, and I think every woman should be fair to herself as well.
That's a very good point. I think that all of us really need to be forgiving of ourselves, because I think that a lot of people are putting this pressure on themselves to just be perfect during this period of time. But we're all experiencing it in real time, and there is no actual perfect way to deal with it. Anyone else have any sort of insight on how they've been dealing with this whole situation?
Yeah, I have a 6-year-old, so it's really hard. And his school has been closing since March, and so it's been like 3 months that we spend time like 24/7 together. And I still have to work, and I do freelance. That means sometimes when I paint, I have to spend like 2 or 3 hours just sitting in front of my laptop, and I have to also pay attention to what he's doing, because my husband, he still go out to work. And it's hard because you feel guilty too, that when you're working and you can pay attention to what your son's doing, and the same time you're like struggling, am I doing the right thing? Because I'm not spending time with him. I'm working. Am I being selfish? So it's hard. It's a big struggle. And we are adjusting to that. Like you said, that we need to be more forgiving, but it's hard. And it's been 3 months, so I can say that we are getting a little better. Because now it's summer. Kids can actually walk outside a little bit more. Because before, I'm in Midwest, the weather is very harsh in the winter. So we've been cooped at home since winter.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm in Southern California, so I can't even imagine what that is like.
Yeah, I miss California so much. I've moved here for 4 years now. It's hard. I can never get used to the weather here. It's too harsh. Yeah.
How was the distance learning thing for you, Christine?
Actually, his school didn't really do distant learning. They only do apps. They send in their work. And so that gives us more flexibility when and how much that we need to do.
Yeah.
And we're not really on schedule because he's only kindergarten. So
okay.
Yeah, there's no need to be too harsh as long as he get certain things done that we okay with it.
Yeah.
But I'm a little sad that because he had to miss his graduation this year.
Oh.
Well, so there's no kindergarten graduation. Imagine how cute that would be. Yeah.
I think that I have kind of the opposite situation where I don't have children,
Right.
but I live in an apartment all by myself. So instead of, I have no idea how you manage to have the duties of being a mother plus also a full-time job. That sounds crazy.
I don't know how we do it.
I tip my hat to you, but I'm having the experience where I'm just experiencing loneliness and isolation because I am just at home all the time. My apartment is now my office and it's also my home. So it's just where I'm at all the time. And I'm just here by myself all the time. And it almost feels like I'm in some sort of like sci-fi movie where there's like hidden cameras everywhere and people are just trying to see, when I'll snap or something in this like social isolation environment. But so that's what I'm experiencing. I'm just experiencing, especially me, I'm a social person, having to experience working and doing everything inside my home has been very strange.
Right. I think we also spend more time talking to people online too. Because I talk to my family almost every day. That really helps. That you need connection with people. You can't just stay at home by yourself. That's very depressing and it's not good for your health.
Yeah. So, I try to do what I can. I try to do Zoom calls.
Yeah.
Debbie and I are good friends, so we've done like Zoom karaoke, which is also it's fun and strange because I'm like singing to my laptop, but
it's fun and strange. But like if you lose yourself in the music, it you kind of like
you gotta find a way out, no matter what. It's so strange here. You just need to do your thing and feel better.
Exactly. Whatever works.
Yeah.
And also basically, so we can't, not say that we are fortunate. We are very fortunate to still be working right now during this pandemic because a lot of people are not. So I am incredibly grateful, even though it is kind of maddening sometimes to have to just always be in quarantine, but I am extremely grateful that we still have the opportunity to work from home, which leads me to kind of my next question. Animation has been one of the few portions of the entertainment industry that has still been able to function and create new content during this pandemic. Artists, production, and voice actors are still able to work in this field remotely. Do you think the entertainment industry will now be more encouraged to produce more animated content in films and television?
Definitely, 100%. Like, even between live action not being able to film, there's so many things that are still going with animation, and the fact that animation's still being able to be produced. I even feel like with live action, visual effects are going to be a lot different. With filming restrictions from COVID, crowds aren't going to be able to, film together. So we're going to have a lot more CGI. We're going to have a lot more creative ideas coming out of this. This is just a time that's going to be, a new renaissance, I feel, for animation for sure.
Yeah, I definitely feel that animation right now, it's already started its renaissance even pre-COVID, but I'm sorry, I'm not showing up on the recording. Can you guys see me in the speaker?
I can see you. Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that.
You're good. Yep.
Yeah. So pre-COVID, with Netflix and Amazon and new media, there's just been a lot of like just a big request for more shows. We need more content, animated content especially, and so with now that we're in this shelter in place where animation is thriving, but live action's kind of come to a halt. They've actually, I guess they recently started back up again, like just yesterday, or the ordinance was lifted.
Oh, yeah.
They're talking about it, but there's so many restrictions, it's going to limit
right
things for a while.
Yeah, so with that, it's put a lot of productions on hold, leaving networks to scramble, and wondering, oh my God, what are we gonna do? We gotta put some things in there. And so some shows that are normally live action shows have turned to animation to meet that need. So like shows like Blacklist, you know, they've gotten creative, and it's I kind of forced a lot of productions to be more creative, and with that they've turned to animation, which is very promising for us.
It is. And it also just kind of, I think, really also establishes that animation isn't just for children's content either, because
Yeah,
it's just now seen as like an art form that we are still able to use. It's still kind of been something that we have been able to not cease production on. It could not just be for children's content, it could be for adult.
yeah, animation is not just a genre. It's not a genre, it's a medium. So
exactly.
if people look at it in terms of a medium, another way to tell a story, a very creative way to tell a story, then I think, you know, we'll see more animated content.
Yeah, that's a very great way to put it. It's not a genre, it's a medium. And hopefully we'll start seeing more people actually thinking that way with this whole pandemic, because we have been the one place in the entertainment industry that has been able to function. So
yeah,
it might be promising. Who knows? We'll see. I know we already kind of touched on this question, but I kind of want to bring it back a little bit about what it's like being a mom and a working artist. I just kind of want to know how it's affected just your day-to-day life. Like, what is your routine like now that you have to kind of homeschool your kids and also work a full-time job?
Right now, we actually in the summer vacation, so we get a little break.
Yay!
But before, the school will send you syllabus, and then you do all the stuff that the teacher asks you to do, and then we send it in to the teacher, and they kind of grade them. But I think as a kindergarten, they're pretty flexible, so they do like crafts, they do Legos, they do drawings, they write journals. And as for me, I'm not that creative mom. I kind of just follows. And because I see, you know, Princeton mom, dad, they do stuff. It's crazy. I also have friends that they devoted like 100% doing craft with their kid morning to dawn.
I wish I had the time to do that. To like, what's the percentage of time that you put with working on your job and then working with your kids, getting them set up or like we're just playing with them?
Right now, I had to lock my door because he like,
right?
He burst in like every second. I had to talk. I already gave him a big talk that I'll be doing stuff right now, so please give me a little time. But he's very, I would say, needy. So
that's the right age.
Yeah,
because my daughter, I have a 4-year-old. She comes. Actually, both my kids. I have a 4-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy. They both come in like, you know, at different times.
They have to demand things that
every 20 minutes I need a snack.
Now.
Yeah. So we do have to lock the door, put up a sign.
Yeah.
You know, or
sign's probably not enough. You just have to lock the door.
I locked the door just now.
Yeah, it's crazy because before when they have school, they go to school at 8 and they won't be back till 2 or 3 o'clock. That give you like plenty time to do work. You can even do housework. And you can even do grocery, but now it's just impossible. you can't take them to grocery because they don't want you to take kids to grocery. Right? They want you to go in and out very quick now with the mask on.
Right.
So I can't do grocery. And before grocery, it's like a way out. Even for me, I can just walk in the store and have my own alone time a little bit.
Just finding that time to yourself is so important.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm missing during the work from home time. So I have a 4-year-old, and before he was going to school like 3 days a week, but since shelter in place, he's been with me at all times, so I don't have any alone time, and I've just accepted it because like this is like the new way of life. There's nothing I can do about it. And then like since I can't do arts and crafts with them like Monday through Friday because I'm working, I just reserve it for the weekend. So it's like I will just think back of like what did we do when we didn't have internet? Like maybe we made cardboard houses or just something like that. So it's like we'll just pick up an activity. I have a bunch of paint, so I was like, let's just have them just go crazy with this kind of stuff. Like on the weekends, we'll go for like a little bike ride. So it's like we just try to incorporate something because I know it's affected him emotionally because he did express to me that he does miss school and he does miss his friend. He would tear up about it. So yeah, and it sucks like because he's only like 4 and he feels that way. And like, you know, we already feel like so claustrophobic being at home. So it's like, could you imagine like what, like a little kid who can't play outside?
But we have the adult mind that can rationale, like this is what's going on. There's a pandemic. It's a virus. We understand that. But I'm sure explaining that to a child must be very hard.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky that my son actually do the Zoom meeting with his classmate. They can do like whole afternoon that they'll be playing video games or they'll be playing and he would come back and forth, but they will be on the iPad. They can talk to each other. So I'm super grateful for that. I'm happy that his mom's okay with it because not every parents are okay with the tablet. So
tablet is my babysitter. Like honest to God. I mean, but the way I also look at it, when I was growing up, I was just kind of had to fend for myself, and my kids have kind of been forced to do that too, to just kind of and not fend for themselves, but you know, like just find things to do, like get creative. Like they've made so many things out of toilet paper rolls, like and you can go far with a pile of toilet paper rolls and googly eyes. They've got like a whole collection of just little figures, and so they're being forced to be creative and find what interests them, which is probably a good thing. In this day and age where kids are not forced, but you know, they're encouraged to take part in soccer and learn how to play chess and do this and do that. And like the overscheduling of things has, like this pandemic has kind of forced us to just take a breather and like just, you know, sit and evaluate where we're at and what we like, you know?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of leads me to my next question is, do you have any advice for women who want to take up leadership roles in a creative field and also have a family?
Have a support system, like be it friends, family. I mean, if you have someone who you're living with who can help out, you know, like my husband and I, we tag team all the time. I right now my schedule is flexible. I don't run a department like my husband does, so he has mandatory meetings every morning. So he has to do that while I tend to the children, get them set up. I feed them, I get them started on their day. And then at like 10:15, I have to sign in. And that frees, and once he's done with his meetings, he frees up and he goes to them and helps them with lunch. And then I work into the night, sometimes till like midnight, 1 or 2 in the morning, and my husband will put them to bed. So it's going to be time consuming when you're in a leadership role. So that support system is very very important.
Yeah.
And also setting boundaries. Like I mentioned, I work long hours, but on the weekends, it's family time. Like work is strictly off limits.
And I think it's also important to note too that even if you don't have a husband and children as your support system, you could always reach out to friends or
Right.
whoever you have in your life, other members of your family, to be a support system for you to get through this. I created Girls Drawing Girls with the hope of it actually kind of also being a support system to women, maybe if they don't even have one, because we have over 200 women artists from all over the world. This can act as your support system if you need help looking for jobs, if you need help learning a new medium of art. That's kind of always been my goal. I try to be successful at it. I hope that it has helped other members of our group. So I just kind of wanted to say that a support system can come in various forms.
Absolutely.
So whatever works for you, just find that.
Just find it.
Yeah.
Reach out if you need help.
Yeah.
There's help.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm going to shift gears a little bit here because we're getting limited on time. We are experiencing, in the middle of the pandemic, also a social climate in need of civil rights change and justice, quite frankly. Our organization stands by the Black Lives Matter movement and celebrates and welcomes diversity in general. I just wanted to ask, how important is inclusion to you in the entertainment industry?
I think it's very important. I mean, women in animation had their 50-50 by 2020 goal, and I think that kind of helped push new ideas and new shows into the sphere that hadn't been considered before. And I feel like with all these new movements going on, we're going to get so many great ideas out of it. As long as companies are willing to hire the people, then you'll get such a better product because it'll come from so many different perspectives. It'll be well-rounded. We'll see stuff, that we've never seen before, and we'll see stuff that will matter to kids that have never seen anybody look like them. And that's so important. Representation is very important.
Absolutely. Yeah, growing up, I was surrounded by Filipino people because I'm Filipino. But when I watched TV, it was all white people. I grew up in the 80s, 70s. And so it was just this weird dichotomy where, like, well, these people aren't speaking Tagalog. My parents only spoke to me in English. And so I thought, if these people on TV are speaking English, what does that make me? Am I those people or am I these people? And so in a way, it's a bit of a mental handicap to be made aware of your own invisibility. And so it would be nice to see more Filipino people on primetime television. We're sort of seeing that right now. But I think you're right. Representation does mean a great deal. Because if you can't see yourself in those roles, then, you can't think of the possibilities.
I wanted to speak on you talking about invisibility, and I'm Native American actually, and inclusivity is so important because I'm finding out that I'm probably one of very few people in the animation industry who's actually indigenous peoples. So with that, it makes me want to be actually more involved in any of the the Native American movements that are happening here in Los Angeles. So, it's just representation is so important for that. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
It absolutely is. I'm pretty proud of the fact that we have a very diverse group. I want to have this trend continue, and I want important conversations to also continue on this topic as well. I don't want this to be like a flash in the pan movement. We need to continue to have this be something that we push for and strive for. We need to see some change, especially in the field that we're working in right now, we need to really kind of push for this. We need to have more voices that aren't just white voices be present. So it is important. Would anybody else like to chime in on the topic? Yeah, right. I think with this movement that we are in, I'm hoping, even though it's been uncomfortable for people, that we will see a lot of change and a more inclusive industry in 2021. I'm hoping for that. Do you think that 2021 we will see a lot of radical change in the just the entertainment industry in general as far as diversity is concerned?
I think we're all forced to be on this train right now because there's no way to stop it, and we all hop on and we're on the same boat and we have to move forward. And to me, it's important because I want to make sure what I tell my kids is the right thing, and that's when I was doing my show this year in Taiwan. It's hard because there's more. Well, I grew up like a singular race. I didn't grow up with mixed race. It's only Taiwanese. So it's hard for them to imagine when it comes to races. And so I kind of have to bring that idea to people around me, like my parents, and for instance, that they never really think about topic like this. And I think we are lucky because we get to see more stuff, and our kids too. So we experience the media like never before, and things are not just what we're told. Because growing up, we're told a lot of things, but then you grow up and realize the world is much bigger, and you're not always told the right thing, and you have to figure out yourself, and you got to know what to tell your kids. So to me, it's important because I want to make sure I send the right message to my kid.
Yeah. I think that we will hopefully, potentially, gradually see some changes. I think that this is a very important movement. Also, I just wanted to mention too that we do have a new print available for sale on our online store. It's a lovely print of Breonna Taylor that one of our artists, Liz Chesterman, drew. And all proceeds of the sale of this print will go to Campaign Zero. It's an incredible organization which focuses on just ending police brutality. We feel very strongly in this cause, and we want to do what we can on our part to just be a part of the correct side of history and also donate and be responsible where we can. So if you go to our website, GirlsDrawinGirls.com, you'll be able to purchase this print. Thank you everybody for your just insights on everything. To that note, how do you think COVID-19 will affect the entertainment industry in 2021? Basically kind of the same question that I had, but what changes do you think we'll see? Do you think that we'll see an explosion of, I don't know, sci-fi related to pandemics? Do you think that we'll see an explosion of animation? Do you think that we will see just a whole bunch of content because there hasn't been new content for a while? Or do you think content will be slow moving in? How do you think that entertainment is going to be in 2021?
I mean, everyone's kind of desperate for more content right now since everybody's been home and there's so many streaming services, just like Debbie was saying. Like, we've reached a point where it's like hand to mouth, and since filming stopped, we will get new shows, we'll get new ideas. As far as the actual workplace, I think working from home is going to become a lot more common, and working remotely, hopefully studios will be more open to the idea. Before it was always like in-house, we need somebody in-house. I think there's going to be a lot more of these, Zoom calls and working from home staff positions and, definitely freelance, which is great, awesome
Yeah.
to have lots of work and lots of potential. But I think the opportunities are limitless right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like with animation, you had to be, if you wanted to be part of the union, you had to work in Southern California. But now, if you can get people to work from anywhere, not only in the U.S. but nationwide, I don't know. They're discussing right now whether the union should go national, because right now we're strictly relegated to Southern California. But like that's a discussion that's started up, and they're going to continue to discuss it, and
That's
we'll
really
see what
cool.
happens. Yeah.
Here's a question for you guys. A separate side note question. How long do you think it's going to take before there's going to be like a 2020 movie? Documenting this year.
I think it already happened. It was called what was that Steven Soderbergh movie?
Which?
1984.
Idiocracy.
Oh, yeah, it exists already.
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure we'll get like a crappy sci-fi channel version.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, like Sharknado or something.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we're living all the crappy B movies that have already been made.
Yeah, at once.
Yeah.
Or
Or if
yet.
honestly, it feels like a Simpsons episode.
Yeah.
Like Simpsons Foretold, the murder hornets,
Yeah.
and the police stations on fire. It's all been foretold.
Yep. The Simpsons is basically our modern day fortune teller. It's their oracle, The Simpsons.
It's true.
Basically, speaking of your 2020, what have you guys been doing to maintain stress, anxiety, and a positive attitude during this ever-changing, ever-evolving year?
For me, I think I've been creating a lot of schedules. So fortunately, I was already working from home before COVID started.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a full-time work from home mom. The only thing that changed was just my son stopped going to school and stopped going to his activities. So he's just with me at all times. And we can't really go outside to go do too much grocery shopping or just extracurricular stuff. But to manage everything, I just try to make plans ahead of time. It's how I want to spend my weekend relaxing. I had schedules as far as what time he's going to eat, and just kind of it's easy to get lost or forget how to do things. So I just kind of put a reminder for myself to kind of help me out with that. And then after he goes to bed, I usually have that as me time, or so I can just do some art. I can catch up on populating an Etsy store. I can do baking. I know that there's a lot of baking that was happening during COVID.
Oh yeah.
So,
This
yeah.
has been
She makes amazing cakes, you guys. Oh my god. Just giving a shout out to you, Ray. You're so amazing.
Well, thank you. Cookies, baking, and it's just comfort eating it too, right?
Yeah.
I used to just be no, I'm not gonna make sweets because I don't want to gain weight or anything. But what was awesome is just it was just another added comfort that it's just I'm making it for everybody. Also sewing, learn how to sew on a sewing machine, which I never did that before.
Mm-hmm.
So we could make masks for us and our family and that sort of a thing. So just picking up things that I never felt I ever had time for, but COVID was the moment where I felt okay, well, now I do have the time, so now is as good as any time I go do this stuff.
I have this weird thing where I had never watched The American Office before. That, phenomenon just passed me by. I never watched it. And then I all of a sudden during this pandemic, I'm working from home. I'm going to start watching The Office. And it's been kind of comforting seeing people in an office while I'm at home working. And it's a lighthearted thing. And I basically blasted through all of that entire series, 9 seasons of it. And I'm on the last season of it now. And it took me 2 months to get here. But basically that's been kind of a source of comfort for me.
Awesome.
So anyway, that was my weird thing. We need to wrap it up kind of soon, but do you have any advice for young women artists?
Just keep on keeping on.
That's good advice.
Just do it. Just do it. If you have the inkling, the inclination, just do it.
Yep.
Because what else are you gonna do?
Don't let anybody tell you that you can't.
Exactly.
For sure. You can. Just keep going.
Yeah.
And don't need to meet anybody else's expectation by yourself. Don't need to listen to anybody else, and just do what you like to do and never stop.
That's perfect.
And there's so many good resources. There's so many good resources online. Make sure to follow all of your favorite artists and just, make sure to just stay inspired.
I have a big one too, is if you're communicating with people from work, don't start your sentences with the word sorry. I know sometimes I do that, but I have to wean myself from saying that. It's out of politeness, but you're kind of kneecapping yourself when you start out saying sorry, because it's like you're apologizing for being in the room when that is not what you want to do.
We actually mentioned that during our last panel at Comic-Con, is that women have this kind of built-in thing where we have to apologize all the time. Like, I even said that sometimes I apologize to inanimate objects if I bump into them.
I do that too.
Yeah. But we don't have to be sorry all the time for just existing and working and being a boss and just trying to get work done. So yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
All right, we're almost done. So I'm going to ask each and every one of you this question. Lastly, a little bit more lighthearted. What has been your quarantine guilty pleasure? Debbie, I will ask you first.
Me? God. Well, I have been on Facebook a lot, and I am in a lot of groups on Facebook. And one of the groups that I joined that have been like my saving grace each day, they just make me laugh and smile, is science diagrams that look like posts.
Ooh, okay.
And it's so, I can't explain it. You just go on it, click it. It's pictures from science books and science diagrams that they're just so bizarre, and they don't mean anything, like out of context, and I have a laugh riot every time I open my Facebook and I see something that someone posts. But yeah, any Facebook groups that make you happy,
Yeah, sounds good. What about you, Sherry?
My guilty pleasure, I would totally recommend Rose and Blanc Tea Room, and get with your friends and do a tea party at home. It's kind of corny, but it's so therapeutic.
So cute. Do you wear hats?
What's that?
You wear hats?
I mean, you could wear what you want. Yeah, and just definitely going down Reddit holes, which is good and bad, but
yeah,
good therapies usually. So,
Ashlyn?
I like to have personal dance parties. So once I finish up work, I'll just blast music and I'll have, a shot, and then I'll start dancing.
Oh, I love it.
Just to relieve the day. It's really cheesy, and my animals don't understand what's happening whenever I'm doing it, but it's helped.
I like it.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Rihanna?
I've been really enjoying fishing and catching butterflies on Animal Crossing.
That's adorable.
Yeah, you can't do it outside, might as well do it in a video game.
Exactly. Christine?
I've been doing a lot of Uber Eats.
A lot of what?
Uber Eats.
Oh, Uber Eats.
Yeah. I can't cook anymore. It just yeah. And I'm eating a lot of dessert. I've been drinking a lot, just to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh man. The day drinking thing is real.
Yeah, there's no day drinking. You drink whenever.
I have kind of an embarrassing one. I don't know why my brain went to this, but all of a sudden my brain was like, hey, you know what you need to do? You need to watch old 90s like high school teen movies.
Oh yeah.
Even some that are terrible. Like, I don't know why I watched She's All That the other night. I have no idea what my brain told me to do that. It's not even a good movie. But for some reason,
They've been
What
playing
better
on
time than
TV.
now when time is limitless, right?
exactly.
I just watched Titanic. It's like 3 hours.
So yeah, okay. So we all have our guilty pleasures during this quarantine. Well, I think that just about does it for time. Thank you all so much for being part of this panel. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Ashlyn. Thank you, Brianna. Thank you, Christine. You guys have been wonderful. And also to everyone who's viewing this, just stay safe, stay positive. Know that we really appreciate you and that we really care about you. We love everybody who's watching this, and we hope the rest of 2020 is very kind to the rest of us and to all of us. So we just send you our love. Thank you so much for viewing, and have a great rest of 2020. Happy virtual Comic-Con. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Take care.